Am I there? Oh, 1 second. I just need to. What is that? Oh, wait. Need to get rid of this. There I am. Can you see me? Can you hear me? I hope you can see and hear me. Let me know if it's working, because this is a different type of streaming software. Yay, you can see and hear me. Okay, good. This is so much better, this streaming software. Oh my god, where was this in my life before? It's so much easier, and it doesn't make my computer sound like it's going to take off, because look, G is behind the laptop and she keeps like sticking her hand around to try and pull the wires. So hi everyone, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Look how good this is though. This is amazing. Wait till I show you. See? I'm so impressed with myself. So yeah, that's yeah, I'm pretty happy with that situation here that's going on. And yeah, I'm just basically thrilled with the streaming software. So yeah. Hi everyone, welcome. And whoa, do we have some things to discuss? And there was a tiny part of me that is really disappointed. There was like a little ray of hope that I had today that we were going to get a trailer. I had my phone like in my hand because they normally, Showtime on Friday normally releases something. It's normally like 4 p.m. our time. And yeah, it was weird though. They didn't release anything like normally. So when they, hey Jashrita, normally when they release trailers, like Dexter came out 2 weeks ago, they'll even release like little clips from their show. But I think I figured out when we're getting the show. So I haven't seen anyone else mention this, and I was like, I figured it out last night, and I was like, oh, this is when we're getting the show. But I didn't want to make like an entire video because I thought like people, like it's not enough information for one video, because it's not like I haven't got this information from Showtime, so I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. So let's just get onto that, talk about that. And so anyone who hasn't been here or hasn't been like around this week, we know for sure we're getting the show in the summer. 100% Leisha and Kate were the ones that dropped the news on Pants. And this is my theory, okay? So today I'm gonna, how will I do this? Okay, I'm gonna do this. So Showtime, we know, like absolute 100% fact is that whatever happens, season 2 is going to air over a Sunday. And at the moment, today is the 14th. So on the 16th, Sunday, the show that's in the Elwood spot at the moment is that new show, City on a Hill. And so its finale is in 2 days. And normally, so say like back in the day when it was Dexter used to be on and then the L Word would be on, they used to leave like a gap of like Dexter would end and then 3 weeks later the L Word would start. But what they started doing towards the end of the L Word is that they stopped and with those weeks, and they would just end Dexter, and then the next week the L Word would start. And I've noticed that Showtime's always doing that. They don't really leave any gaps between, and especially over the last year when they haven't, they're getting all these shows back. So they're wanting to, it's why they're putting the L Word out in the summer, that they've had such a dip and a gap that they're like, push the shows out as fast as possible. So City on a Hill ends in 2 days. And then on the 23rd next week is, I think I'm pronouncing this wrong, but the Lena Waithe, her show about Chicago. And let me see if I can show you guys. This. So see, boom. It starts on the 23rd and it ends on July 25th, which means we are going to get, well, I think we're going to get the L Word on the 1st of August. So could they leave an extra week in there? Sure. But all these shows seem to be having these patterns that they're just going to start a week afterwards. Thoughts, everyone? My thoughts. Oh, I'm sorry. I can hear myself there. Oops. Fixed it. So I really think that would, and the 1st of August has like a really weird, like I have had like probably my two biggest relationships, my anniversary used to be the 1st of August. So I'm owed some like really good karma for the 1st of August. So this would be, oh yeah, Joshua, you said you were going to be away in the summer. I don't think I'm only talking about the. Sorry, I haven't been very good about saying that. It's only the US that I'm talking about, because Showtime, because of the type of show that the L Word is, it's the same with like HBO and Sex and the City and all that stuff, that we might in the UK get it closer than we did last time, because last time we didn't get it till February. I still have Showtime, so that I watch it on the US schedule. But you should, if you, I mean, obviously I can't like do this on YouTube because it'll be like, I don't know, Showtime will kill me or something. But if there's anyone who wants to know how they can watch it, then I'm sure I can figure out some sort of group or something, because obviously I'm in the UK, but I like, VPNs and all that stuff, and it's pretty easy. Like I can show people or tell people how to do it if they want to do it. But you do have to. I think Showtime actually, they do like a month free trial, so you could do that too. Yeah, and Kai's right too. Like last time, I remember because I hadn't started my channel and when season one came back, obviously, and there was always people like I think even some people had it in like a Google Drive and they used to share the link and stuff. So don't stress. Like you guys know too. Like leading up to it, I'm going to do loads of lives and stuff, and if there's anyone who is good with that stuff, you know, feel free to reach out to them or reach out to me too, like, and we can figure it out some way. But I'll be doing what I did, um, you know, the last couple episodes of season one, where I'll do the episode review, the trailer breakdown for the next week, and then you know, like the big scenes that I was like taking the scene, and then because you have to be really careful on YouTube too, because I don't want to get copyright struck. So you have to transform the content. That's why I would have like a scene and then I would talk about the scene and then I'd show another scene. Because as long as you're doing that, they can't really like, you know, you're not allowed to monetize it, obviously, but I don't know, like obviously I don't care about that. You won't get your channel flagged because if you get struck like for copyright, if you get 3 strikes, like they just take down your channel. So you just have to be careful about it too. But yeah, until the 1st of August that's my bet, that's my thought. That's what I think is going to happen. And it makes sense too, because we're going to have 10 weeks of L Word, and we know for definite that Dexter's coming back in the fall. So it has to be September, October, November. Like obviously it's going to be later because of that. So if they did, let me see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that if it started on the 1st, that would have the season 2 finale on the 3rd of October, and then that would have Dexter start the 10th. So that makes sense for Dexter too. So, or they could wait a week. I just don't see why they would though. And that would be the 8th if they waited a week. How long before season 1? Oh, the season 1 trailer, they started filming in July and the trailer was out in August. Like they put it out like that. And because it's the first season, they want they want as much time as possible to have it out there so people know the show's coming back. Like even though the L Word's in summer and Dexter's in fall, we've already had a Dexter trailer because it's the first season. So it's not like out of the norm that they have. I really, really like, I'm pretty sure that we're going to get one next Friday. I'll be really disappointed if we don't. Honestly, I will be really disappointed. Yeah, they can have all those videos of Bet and T, especially the people who put like music, like most of the stuff that how YouTube like picks up stuff like that is normally the dialogue. So if I put 29-second clips and cut them off and change them a bit, like that's fine. It just after 30 seconds it flags it and it'll block it in some, like there's so many rules on YouTube. Like it really sometimes it must seem like, you know, strange, but especially if people are like the people that put music on them or they put like, you know, quotes and like clip scenes together. It's all right if you're clipping loads of different scenes together. It just can't be continuous. I saw like quite a lot of people just join there, so we're just talking about the release date for the L Word, and I think that it's going to be back on the 1st of August because the show that it's replacing, The Chai, is ending on it starts on May 23rd and then its finale is on July 25th. So that seems to make the most sense. And even if they waited a week, it would be the 8th. But most Showtime shows seem to have been starting straight after one another. So that's why I think that it'll come back on the 1st. And I think that we must be getting a trailer next Friday. Like we must. Yeah, City on the Hill ends on Sunday. So maybe when they don't normally release new ones on Sunday though, but maybe they'll make a special allowance since the L Word is one of their big shows that will get it. And I hope that because normally you get like with I know I keep referencing Dexter, but first you normally get like remember when season 1 of the L Word like the Gen Q came out and you got that little like cartoon one where like they were all faceless and it was just like people like their hair and like a little cartoony thing. So and then with Dexter it was just like that axe. So we usually do get one like that that's like 10-12 seconds and it's just like an voiceover, but because there's normally a trailer before the end of the season, maybe they'll just give us a good like 30 to 50-second one, or they could just give us the full like 2 blown minute one. Oh yeah, next week when they wrap on Thursday, the 20th, this coming Thursday. So this is the last live where they're filming. Like no more lives when they're filming. So next week when they're wrapped and everybody's going to chill, then we'll be like, hello, it's me again. So yeah, I'm just getting really excited and I can't remember who I was saying, maybe Tammy I was saying this to you, that yesterday I met like my like really, really close group of like my best friends. And the 5 of us all together, including me, we only have one Starbucks on the Isle of Man. We were in Starbucks. And when I got there yesterday, I had my Bet Porter shirt on. And they were all like to me, oh, so big week for the L Word. Like none of them watched the show, but they're like, oh, your Instagram was like blowing up with all the stuff. And I was like, yeah, we're getting the show soon. And they were like, oh, that's nice. Oh yeah, Jamie Clayton. I think that's the post you're talking about, Lisa. That she was out. So yeah, she's wrapped. Danny's wrapped. There's Jillian Marcato. I know she was saying she was getting like her last fitting yesterday. I mean, it seems as though like Leisha, Kate, Jennifer, they haven't wrapped yet, but so here's a small clip. Normally, I'd say, yeah, Catherine, it would be like a little, like the little 10-second one first that they release for Dexter. Normally, they do a 10-second one like that, but you don't see anybody, like any actual footage. And then it's like a 20-second one where you see like one, two people, and then you get like an almost minute one, and then you'll get one more like further down the road that's like a minute and a half. But because of the way they've had to do this filming, I don't think that we'll get those little ones. I think we'll just get one like 30-second trailer where we actually see like the cast, and then maybe closer to the actual like airing we'll get like another one, another like version. Yeah, they've everybody's been pretty quiet. I mean, of all the time they've been filming, this has definitely been the quietest period. Like out, I mean, I've still seen obviously the crew posting some stuff, but none of them have posted anything. Not even Gigi and Ari posted a picture today saying that she'd wrapped, but that was like an old picture. Remember the one of her and Gigi? It was for, and maybe like they're reusing the outfit, but you could tell like even the lighting and stuff. Like it was weeks old, that picture, I think. Jacques, Tammy spoke to the gallery where Laurel's show is, and they're pretty confident that's happening. I think it will. Yeah, because even like in the US, they've been saying, "Oh, if people have all their vaccinations, they can not worry about like, and the UK, you know, we're really doing good with the vaccine. I mean, the Isle of Man, my brother who is 19 has even like him and all his friends have had their first shot. I'm getting my second one July 14th, I think. And because everyone on the Isle of Man is not everyone who wants it, um, everybody here is nearly completely vaccinated. And now, if you come here, because the entire year since March last year, our border has been closed. You had to be a resident to come here, and if you did, you had to still do 2 weeks of isolation with tests, or if you didn't want to do a test, you had to do 3 weeks of isolation. And only last week, where now you only have to do 1 week. They literally just changed it last week. And then in June, and they've let to come here, you have to, like, if you guys wanted to come, like, because you have like a friend here, you can, or like my family can come. And then in June, the border is like completely opening, and and then there's no isolation. So um, because everybody will have had all their thing then. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that Laurel's show is going to happen, and I wasn't too sure, obviously, what the situation with the border was here, because I probably wouldn't have gone if I would have had to isolate for 2 weeks when I got back. So the fact that that's not an issue anymore, probably in the end of June, start of July, I'll put together like a group so that anybody who's coming to Laurel's show, obviously like no pressure, But if whoever wants to meet up, like again, I say I'd love to take you guys to dinner, and then like just hang out and chat. And I think it will be fun. So let's talk about. I can show you my screen and everything without my computer having a breakdown. So let's have a little look at some of the pictures from this week. Are we getting I don't know whether you guys saw my stories, but are we getting a plane airport cliffhanger again? Can you imagine if they made it like every single finale like ended in the airport or something? Oh yeah, so we have the court. They were in court this week. So I did court, we know it's definitely happening. Hospital, detectives, FBI, and then the airport. Did I put it in my stories, I think. Oh, I should have just gone back. No, I can't go back. Oh, that house, yeah. Yeah, and plane. So, and there's Ari saying she wrapped for the season. This is a okay. There's the core again. That's the thing. He wasn't like super. I mean, like he doesn't even have a tie on there, because I feel like if it was something to do with his business, that he'd be like. So, I mean, I'm thinking the core is obviously the repercussions of whatever all this like FBI detective stuff is all about. Let me see what you guys said. Oh my god, no, Emma, not another murder mystery season, please. Oh god. Savage Laurel shows in London. You can't fly. My sister's coming from Oregon in July, I think. At the end of June or July. But well, actually, yeah, that my sister is like because we have British and American parts, so yeah, that's I guess why she can do that. Because her husband obviously he is only American, so but I guess he could come because she's her wife, but he has to work, so. It doesn't. I can't say that word on here, but it wouldn't matter if. Well, I doubt Angie is doing that, but it's legal in California too, so it doesn't matter. I have a feeling that the airport scene has something to do with Tina carrying back, but Rosie's not unless she has like some little scenes in the finale. She wasn't on set for those um like that plane set. She wasn't there. Yeah, Kelly, that's right. Um Oh, about in Can oh, no, so I thought you just said the filming of last scenes. I'm not sure about the Canada thing. I I didn't hear that, but she did film her like, she's been offset for weeks now, but before they because they only did the table read for the finale on the 30th of April. I mean, the only thing is that she could have, like, a very small scene that they shot. It wasn't worth her staying until the finale to shoot like one little small scene, but it wouldn't be any, and that's a very rare thing anyway. So I just don't. It doesn't seem as though she's going to be in the finale. I am convinced that the cops Scotland story involves Angie, Geordie, or Finlay. Yeah, it's really hard to work out too because I've seen a lot of people saying about Angie and Geordie, but then it's like Danny's dad's in court, and then it also seems as though Gigi and Danny were, when you remember, like when we saw those pictures with like the blue and red like cop lights and stuff. She mentioned it in one of her TikToks, I think, that her scenes took place in Canada. I thought it was like, oh, I didn't see that, and I know there was people. This was before, like when Rosie had been cast, but she hadn't actually been on set, and people were. I think they got. Remember, like last season, Laurel had said, "Oh, as if Tina was working on like a Game of Thrones type show," but it wasn't. It was like Laurel was like filling in the blanks for people. They hadn't written and confirmed this season, and I know there was some people were saying the Canada thing, like saying that as though it was happening. So that's why I wasn't sure whether the Canada thing was real or it was just that's what they were like, not that's what people were thinking where Rosie and stuff was coming from, but it seems as though she's like carry the characters from New York, and then but I saw some people saying that they live in like she lives in Canada too, so I'm not too sure. I'm sure they'll clarify, but TikTok is hot. Like I definitely miss some of them because there's so many of them, and like the little short ones, and then like the ones where she goes live and things. There's so many of them, and then she'll answer like one question in a big sea of other ones. So I'm sure I definitely miss some. Maybe she is in Canada then. I mean, I'm sure they'll clarify. Um, it would like I mean it would make more sense if because like all those CW shows and stuff like that, they all film up in, and I mean, they all were used to film up in Canada. So if Tina had like transitioned into television and she was like a big executive producer for one of those shows, like that Canada makes way more sense than New York, because like it just, if she's going to be on a big like, there's only a handful of shows that shoot in New York, and that's for authenticity, like Succession, because it's set in New York. But most big shows nowadays, they're in Canada or in LA, or actually, like ones like Game of Thrones and stuff. Like Game of Thrones was shot where I'm from in Northern Ireland, and everybody there was like, you'd go to dinner and like half the cast of Game of Thrones would be in there. Yeah, that's true. Kelly, when they were saying about and then with that stuff too, I'm never sure, because it's like, if they say that during the first season with 8 episodes and they haven't like they could kind of retcon that when they've actually like written out the second season and stuff. But now that they'll have season 1 and 2, there'll be a lot more to work with, like, next season and stuff. And yeah, so when they wrap on Thursday, I wonder like when they'll start doing, like, obviously, like I said, like I really hope we get a trailer next week, but when they'll start doing all of the interviews and hype and stuff. And because if we are right about, say, August 1st, that's only leaving them 2 months, 2 and a bit months. And obviously, like, we've all been waiting forever, for season 2. Like, they just need to say it's happening, and we're gonna hype it up enough for them. But June, I know that Leisha said on Pants the other day she was going to New York. So I wonder if she's going to the same Pride that Jennifer Beals is going to in New York in June. Because in the thing about releasing it in the summer too is that most, like, I know that they don't really do this a lot for the L Word. They don't really go on a ton of talk shows, and also because they'll be on even less this year because it's a second season, and because of, obviously, the world isn't completely fixed yet. But maybe by season 3 I'll be able to get them on the channel. I'm always gonna try. That's all I can do. And like, I know some people are like critical of not having, like, getting them on here or anything, but it's like, I've never I don't work on the show, so I'm trying my best. But if it would be great by season 3 if I was able to get, you know, even some of like the minor characters or some of the newbies or something on. But I'm making headway. At least they know that the channel exists, because last time they did like a good couple of YouTube interviews, but no one that just specifically does the L word. But all those people had like way more subscribers, so that's the only reason that I think that, they might only do it with like huge amounts. Oh, thanks, Kaya. I wish. Well, that's the only thing that I'm holding on to hope for, that they know what the channel is, and Marja was really really nice to me about the channel and like said really nice things. So that's like half the battle, that they know it exists and they like it. So yeah, no, Kelly's right. There's no way that JB would go on Ellen. I mean, everybody saw the interview last time, right? Yeah, I can't imagine, like, yeah, like what Kelly said about, I don't think she would um, be supportive of going on a show like that when, you know, with the sort of environment that apparently exists. Maybe maybe they wouldn't be able to do like an in-person interview together, Tammy, but you might get one like, I'm like, obviously I would love to have them on, but I don't think it exists. But like something like this, where if someone was interviewing them and you could have them like both, you know, through like a Zoom or something. Like, I don't know. I'm pulling something out of my head here, but like The View or something, where they could, because Laurel's in Austin. I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming she's going to spend the summer there until the show in London. And then Jennifer's definitely going to Pride in New York at least. And I'm sure she's going to be in Canada for a good part of the summer too, because they have just worked for 8 months straight as well. And I'm really curious to find out about like what's, because they've thrown the schedule off a bit, because what was the show that I was thinking about the other day? I can't remember which one it is, but there's I think it was the Chai one. They obviously shot the season that's starting next week, and then they took like a hiatus break, and then they've gone and now they're shooting it again now. So it's like, so they wrap next Thursday, the 20th. Say they go on break for the summer. Like, will the writers go back in September? Then how long will they, have for, and if the show comes back August 1st, maybe after the first one or two episodes, they'll renew it. And then we'll get it, have them writing it over fall, and then they could go back the same time they did this time last year for season 2. They started in November, so if they wrote, August, September, October, then they could go back and shoot season 3 in November. And it wouldn't take them as long, obviously, because they hopefully by then they're not having to wear masks and stuff. Tammy, I didn't call pants again. I'm going to, but they took my idea because, let me see if I can show you. Um, let me find this and then I'll show you, because I want to show you what I sent them. Okay, let me show you this. This is what I sent them. It sounds a bit I mean, you guys know me. What you see is what you get. So this is what I wrote them about, you know, in their stories yesterday where they were saying they're gonna, this is the message that I sent them suggesting that. So I would like to come on as the originator of this. But yeah, I would love if they did that. If I don't know whether anybody listens to Office Ladies with Jenna Fischer and Angela Kinsey. It's so good. Oh, I'm sure I shouldn't have people on here. Yeah, can you imagine Leisha and Kate and like their friendship and chats? It would be so good. Them like talking about filming the pilot and everything. So I really, really hope they do that. Oh, thanks, Catherine. I just read your little message there. Thanks. So I'm just reading the rest of the chat. Oh, Tammy said, I also hope for Laurel and Jennifer on Pants together. Do you know what I was thinking too is, so again, I'm using this like August, in my mind, the show's coming back on August 1st until someone proves me otherwise. But with, I'm obviously I'm sure Kate and Leisha will go on some sort of hiatus from Pants over the summer. But I wonder if they'll do the podcast when the show is airing. So it would be cool, like the first, August 1st or whatever it is, that they, have other people like Laurel, Jennifer, and maybe the second episode they have some of the newbies on or something, that they can all chat about how the episode I know that Jennifer doesn't watch herself, but it would be cool to hear them like maybe talk about going back and filming with with all the new protocols and stuff like that, and like I'm sure there'll be some funny stories or things. But I mean, that would be great too, like obviously newer ones, but I'd really like them to talk about the original L Word too, and like filming that and the funny memories and stuff like that, because I'm sure they'll be really good. And they, again, I don't know whether anybody listens to the Office Ladies one, but it's so good because the Angela and Pam, who are like the two actresses that do the Office Ladies podcast, each episode they talk about the episode. So they started with episode 1 and now they're going through the whole show, and they have like all these different things where they talk about like behind the scenes things and like bloopers and deleted scenes, but they tell loads of like personal stories too, and they have like other guests on and writers on and directors, but the best bit of it is they're actually best friends too. And so it's, I don't know, it is the most authentic, and I just love listening to that podcast. And I feel like Leisha and Kate, it's a really similar thing because they're like obviously best friends who met working on a show together, and I would just so love if they did those original episodes, it would be really good. Even if, like, I think I said this in when I sent them this email, but when I suggested it to them, I was like, even if you just did, like the pilot and all the season premieres and like the really big episodes, because it might be a bit much if they started. I mean, I totally think they could do it all 6 seasons because Angela and Jenna Fisher, they're doing 9 seasons of like 24 episode seasons. So that, I mean, they could keep Pants going for a really long time if they did all 6 seasons, and then they could start with Gen Q afterwards. Yeah, Lynn, I'm very, very optimistic about a third season. They all, Kelly, they are all, whenever they are all contracted for it. It's just if the show goes on. So normally, probably Leisha, Jennifer, and Kate have a little bit of a different contract because they're executive producers and because it's a reboot. They're the originals. Blah blah blah. But normally, when a new show starts like this, everybody is contracted automatically. Like all the newbies, this will be the case. They'll be contracted for 5 seasons, and that's why when it gets to like the 6th season, that's when you see like these crazy increases. And someone like Ellen Pompeo from Grey's Anatomy, right, when that show started, no one on that show was well known at, like, Katherine Heigl, maybe a tiny bit from like Roswell, but then by the time, so they get paid those 5 seasons, and every season they get like a little bit of a raise. And even think of Friends, like all of them were unknowns. So when the 5 seasons are up, or sometimes back in like the 80s, 90s, it used to be 3 seasons when TV shows didn't go as long, but now it's pretty much the norm to do 5 seasons. And they know then, okay, the show is super popular, and then like Ellen Pompeo, Grey's Anatomy isn't Grey's Anatomy without her. And then the cast of Friends, they knew like it's the 6 of us or it's none of us. The L Word doesn't work without, Jennifer, Kate, and Leisha, who are also executive producers. So they'll have the contract getting raise of whatever every season. It'll be going up and up, and then they know they'll have like the bargaining, like Ellen Pompeo, her season 18 contract, they sometimes do go into, so like Ellen, I'm just using her as an example because it's easy. She, in season 14, signed a 3-year thing, and so it went up again. But then she knows, okay, as long as the show gets renewed for 3 more seasons, I'm in. And then now the show's contingent on whether she signs another year is whether the show gets another year. So now I think that she's, for the next season of Grey's, getting close to, like, for the entire season, I think it's like 26.6 or maybe it's 28 million for the season. And say the L Word, and this is kind of what happened with the original, because they were all contracted for 5 seasons and nobody thought they were getting that 6th season. And then that's why it was 8 episodes too, because everybody's went up, like, so it costs them the same amount to pay all the actresses for 8 episodes as it would have before, for 12 episodes. And the newbies, so say we go 5 seasons, and then by the time the 5th season gets there, say everybody's like still the same level of famous, but you have someone like Sefida Moafi, who was, relatively like unknown before. And I know that she's doing an Apple series with Greg Kinnear. So say that show is like super popular and she becomes like a big star, like kind of like what happened with Chris Pratt and Parks and Recreation, who he was, not known then. And when they're negotiating for the sixth season, if everybody signs on for another year, then she would have like a big bargaining chip to be able to say, hey, I know that I'm going to get 80,000, 100,000 an episode. I'm just pulling a number out there. Then she'd have a lot more power to say, well, I'm, a big draw and stuff like that. And, I'm in a much better place than I was before. So I won 130,000 an episode, and they have a lot more that way. And then the show obviously weighs up like, okay, is this person worth it? And, will I sign them for a year? Or do I know Generation Q is going to go 3 more seasons and I should sign them now for a 3-year deal and pay them this amount so that I know that I don't have to negotiate with them every year and end up paying them more and more every year and then have the worry that they're not going to sign. So that was like a long explanation. Let me just catch up on what you said. Yeah, I bet you that Leisha, Kate, and Jennifer, their contract will be something like either they're contingent on the show going, like as long as the show is renewed, their contract's renewed, or it could be the other way around, where if their contract's renewed, they get the show go because it's so them being involved in the show is like so much more than just like a normal person on a TV show. And this is the other thing, that with a lot of those contracts, so say all the newbies, say they're signed on for 5 seasons, normally, and Showtime and HBO sometimes are a little bit funny because they're not like the norm, but after the 3rd or 5th, but most of the time the 5th season, there'll be an executive producer contingent in the contract. So again, Ellen Pompeo is like a really good example of this, that after the 5th season, I think it's the 5th season with Grace, but after a certain amount of seasons, The Office, they did this on too, the actors are made executive producers after, an expiry in the contract. So say Sefda again, say she has a contract now that she signs saying, okay, after the 5th season, I'm automatically given an executive producer role. And people always want to get an executive producer role because, one, you get more input into the show, but 2, you get an executive producer fee. So you're being paid twice for the same job. I mean, you're going to put in obviously more into the show, but a lot of actresses are doing that already and doing the prep work. So they're basically getting paid twice for the same job. Yeah. Jack, I did catch that about Leisha saying about telling stories over seasons. And yeah, there's no way we're not getting season 3. Telling you. Yeah, Lynn, I was just talking about that. Lynn's the one who told me in the first place about Jennifer going to Pride, and Leisha did say in last week's pants or this week's pants that she's going to be in New York too. So I wonder if they're going to be there at the same time or going to the same Pride or they're having an Elwood float. How much money do you think JB makes per episode in Elwood? Oh, that's a really difficult question. Like, if it was a network show, I'd probably be able to get it pretty accurately, maybe within like 10 or 20 grand. But Showtime is so hard. It's the same with HBO. I'm thinking. Again, Showtime and HBO are so difficult and weird. But I'd be really surprised if she was getting less than $1 million for season 2, so 100,000 an episode. But I'm sure it's more than that. Oh, Kelly just bought a house. Congrats. Is San Diego's doing another virtual Pride. Last year we were supposed to have like the first ever Pride on the Isle of Man. So I'm hoping we're going to have it this year, and some of the people that are organizing it, they asked me to do like a thing to do with it too, because one, there's not a lot of gay people here, and two, there's like they know I talk about the L word and stuff. So, oh yeah, Jennifer Beal is absolutely like making the most money, 100%, no ifs, ands, or buts. And I'm sure she is the highest paid person on the show, because a lot of the, I mean, you know, this isn't really like I don't like to talk about their private thing, but I don't really. This is like associated with the show. Is that the newer writers and cast and crew and all that, like, most people are relatively unknown and pretty new. Um, so yeah, I'm sure she is the highest paid. Speaking of highly paid people with contracts, they're doing that HBO Friends renewal. Like it's not. Oh, what is it? It's they're calling it like a special or something. Like, it's not another episode. It's like just them and like other celebrities talking about Friends. It's kind of random, but they're all getting paid an absolute fortune to do it. Do you know the cast of Friends, each of them, like, well, they were getting paid $1 million an episode, but in reruns, like now, they still make like 30 million a year off reruns each. She's the highest. Ellen Pompeo is the highest paid. I'm pretty sure. Mm. Yeah, she is, because the highest paid before was Sofia Vergara, but she's not on anymore. She was on Modern Family. Yeah, I hope Jessica Capshaw comes back to Grey's. next season now that we're getting another season. No, it's season 14 she left. We're on season 17 now. She hasn't been on it for like 3 years. Oh yeah, sorry about you guys being. I know. I haven't been on actual like vacation for like years, and last year, like, because anytime I was going away, it was for work, and I'd go to South Africa for a week, but like I'd be in an office all the time. Like all I would see is monkeys. Like literally, when I was eating my breakfast, monkeys would come and like try and steal my breakfast, and that was like the only time, like when I was eating breakfast, when I'd like see the like the water and stuff and beach and things. But last year I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go on a nice vacation, and I was gonna go by myself too. I didn't even care, and I had booked to go to Hawaii the first week in April last year, and obviously it was cancelled. So I really want to go away, but just don't know when I'm going to get to. Even just to go back home to Florida for like a week, just to have some chill time. If Jennifer does Seven Wives, wouldn't she have to have something signed with the L word ahead of other projects? So because when they do season 3, they're not going to have 8 months of filming again, like, because they're not going to have to do all the pandemic-y masks and things. So they'll probably slot Evelyn Hugo into, say this, I'm just picking these dates out of the air, but if they start filming again in November, they'd probably wrap it around March, start of April. So maybe May next year they could do Evelyn Hugo, or they could do it. I mean, I don't know how far along in the process they are, but she's also an executive producer, so she's not going to be on set from like 5 a.m. every day and stuff. It'll be a different type of involved, but as long as those contracts and things, as long as it doesn't interfere with the specific time period you're on shows, like, that's why people like Jennifer Aniston, they knew, okay, I shoot Friends from the end of July until April every year, and I can go and do all these movies in the summertime. So as long as it doesn't interfere with what they're doing at like that precise time that the show's filming, it's normally okay. Oh yeah, Fragrance Enthusiast. Yeah, that's another good example of Sarah Jessica Parker. No, Kelly, they weren't executive producers on the original. I think that is mostly because that they were all, especially, well, when you look at like Leisha and Kate and stuff, they're very young, and they were like very, very, like, that was Leisha's first like acting job. And if the L Word wasn't ending with season 6, and season 6 was only 8 episodes, I'm sure you would have seen them become executive producers. At least like Jennifer. Yeah, they are. I'm just catching up here. Yeah, Kelly, they are. Especially HBO and Showtime are really, really keep under wraps, because they, most of the stuff like again, NBC, ABC, it gets out, but Showtime and HBO keep it pretty under wraps. Catherine, you said, can LW be on Netflix? Do you mean the L Word? That's what I'm assuming you mean, but they took it off because Showtime just wants it on their app. They're not like signing any deals anymore. It's not even on net. Like we don't even have Showtime in the UK, and it's not on Netflix over here. And the other thing is to do with the streaming and stuff. The only way you can watch the L Word, like the original, exactly the way it's supposed to be, like the music and stuff, is the DVDs. Even the Showtime streaming doesn't have the right music. How many people will be at Ahlan Bride 50? There'll probably be a lot of people, but not be like about 12 lesbians. 13, an odd one, me. And yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, fragrance enthusiast, that's true too. Like a lot of clever actresses who know what they're doing, stuff like that will be in there. That like JB's could say that she has to be the highest paid, and honestly, that there's some shows that was. I keep using her as an example, but that was one of the things that caused an issue with Ellen Pompeo, that she is the star of the show, she is the lead, and Patrick Dempsey was being paid like at one stage I think he was paid more than her, and that was like a huge issue. But that was the genius of what the 6 actors and actresses from Friends did. They all knew we are far more valuable together than apart. And that's why they always submitted themselves in the lead category all together. And they always submitted their contract negotiations together. And that was unheard of in a time period like that, because normally you would expect the 3 men to be paid more. And it was really good what they did. And actually, another good example of this is The Big Bang Theory. The 4 male leads and Kaley Cuoco were all being paid like a lot. Like I think that they were. I think Johnny Galecki, Jim Parsons, and Kaley Cuoco, I think they were on $1 million an episode for the last couple of seasons, and they're 24 episode seasons. And Melissa Ranch and Mayim Black, they were paid like a lot less, like a lot less, like a tenth of what the others were making. And the 4 guys and Kaley Cuoco, they took a pay cut so that they could all get pretty even money. I think they obviously still got a little bit more, the 3 of them, because they were like the leads. But I thought that was cool. Kelly, that I think that 5 rerun things is the US, but this is like everywhere else. Because Friends is like probably the most universal show. I think I like, oh my god, one of my exes, like, she didn't speak English when we met, and she always like jokes now. She's like, oh yeah, I learned English listening to Ash rant and watching Friends. Yeah, so yeah, Sofia Vergara. That's who Gloria's named after, if you didn't know that. The Sofia Vergara character from Modern Family. That's her namesake. And I actually know the actors who play Phil, Claire, Mitch, and Cam. I've got some really cool pictures with them from a couple of times that I've hung out with them. And Claire, oh my god, Julie Bowen, she's really really pretty on screen, but holy smokes, in person, oh my god, and she is so nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mariska Hark. She's a good example too. I mean, like a contract negotiation and fee live tonight. No, no. There's no way that the OG characters are going anywhere. No, no. Yeah, the sometimes the contract can get because stuff that I've done in the past, like when I was younger and like did movies and stuff like that. Um, I mean, obviously, like nowhere near the level that I'm talking about here. But I have a friend who's a entertainment contract lawyer too, and there is like it gets so specific. Like you said, screen time, exactly right. But it can even this is as well like in movies like merchandising and really like even stuff like trailers, they can be super super specific on what the network has to do for them, if they're in like how Kate sometimes talks about going to, I think she went to Japan and other places like that. There's certain ends of the bargain that the actors have to hold up to. But all of these things, when they were all in that float at Pride before season one, well, it was even before they filmed actually. I think it was 2019 and things like that. Like these contracts are like crazy. And social media, like there's a lot that goes into them. Even like what you're allowed on set, like they can write cars into them, they can write other things that they'll give you. It's like when that picture came out and with the umbrellas, and then JB had that black jacket on, and then a few weeks later the one of Laurel and Jordan came out, and Laurel had a similar, well, the exact same one on. And everyone was like, oh, she has JB's jacket. I'm like, every single actress on every single set that I have ever worked on, every single, like, a lot of them have those coats, like, like as like an actual must be included, because the second that the camera stops rolling, someone runs up and puts that jacket on you. And then I used to work with someone who, I mean, they're not like a super big star, but they're married to the guy who played Mr. Fantastic, his wife in like real life. And she she's really, really pretty. She was in a movie with me, and she's tiny, tiny, and she used to have like two of those jackets on at all once. And she just always be like chain smoking. And then the second they'd be like, okay, rolling, like the camera's going up, just like drop the jacket off. And yeah, that's just everybody lives in those jackets. Yeah, that I agree, Callie, what you said there. Friends really changed who people looked at contracting actresses. Ensemble cast needed to be contracted together. Absolutely. And the other thing is, this is in a way, even you can say this, um, not even just actresses and stuff, but it's how a lot of businesses, companies hold the power too, because they discourage people from talking about salary and stuff like that. And like at my last job, I know I was the only woman being paid the same as some men, and there was other women on a lot less. And it's like, because they know that women don't want to be confrontational. And I had someone, one of like my really, really good friends, who, like, we obviously both have our own businesses. And I was having this conversation with her about, I hate having the conversation about my rates, because I always feel like I'm asking too much. And she said she had this mentor that was like, you should always like add on 10%, because she was like, anytime I've dealt with a man and I've dealt with a woman, the man is literally always, and she's like, it's a ridiculous amount. Like, a woman will say, oh, she'll do the job for, you know 10 hours a month, and she'll charge her time out $100. So I'll do the job for $1,000. And the man will be charging his time out for like 2.5 grand. Like, it's insanely more. And she was like, I don't know, it's obviously it's hard. And I always just try and channel the confidence of a straight rich white man talking about money. Oh, I'm all about Danny and Gigi. They are my they are my hopes and dreams for season 2. I'm trying to catch up now. Yeah, Danny and Gigi, all about it. Yeah, Terry said here, I can't wait to see who Alice's love interest will be. I don't think it's Nat, just from what she said on Pants. Totally agree. And the fact that Stephanie Allen doesn't seem to have been on set loads, and she seems to have been doing another project. So, what's also going to be curious is Gigi seems to be on set a lot. So, I wonder if it'll be like, oh yeah, Alice and Nat broke up, but this is how we met Gigi, sort of thing. Oh yeah, Tammy, you said after too. Agree. I don't think the OGs overshadow. I think that it balances it out good. And I also think that people I think there are people invested in the younger. I mean, I really like Gigi. Obviously, I like Danny. I like Finley. Um, and I know that. I also am someone who, I'm in my early 30s. I grew up watching the OG, and I know there's people who feel as passionately about Gen Q as like I feel about the OG, and where I like both shows. There's people who definitely prefer Generation Q, and I think that Generation Q is the best of both worlds. That we get what we want, we get the OGs and stuff, and then there's new people for people who want like a newer show. Yes, Lynn, I can travel out of Alderman now. Um, and up until 2 weeks ago, when you came back, you either had to do 2 weeks of isolation and a test on day one, 8, and 14, and they all had to be negative, and then you could come out. Or if you didn't want to do tests, you had to do 3 weeks of isolation. But as of 2 weeks ago, if you come in from the UK, you only have to do 1 week of isolation. But at the start of June, there's no, for coming in from the UK, there's no isolation anymore, because that my sisters are going to come over, probably July, August, because my oldest nephew, he's in school. Oh yeah, Savage was a movie star. The first thing I ever did was I used to do the the stunt double horse riding for the girl who played Matilda, not in Matilda, in Thomas and the Magic Railroad that Alec Baldwin's in, and I did I did movies with. I have a video on my channel talking about celebrities that I met, and it was the first movie I did was Julie Andrews, Colin Firth. Lisa's seen my movies. She rented them from Netflix, and I remember Johnny Depp, Vince Vaughn, Nev Campbell, Christian Slater. Hi to Chile. Oh, sorry, just jumped down. Yeah, Ari finished. She finished shooting yesterday. Oh, hey, B. I don't know where you were. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Laurel's in September. So I was saying at the start, anyone, no pressure, but anyone who's going, who watches my channel, subscribes to my channel, I'd love to take you out to dinner, hang out, chat. I'd really love to do a video with, if we go to dinner, like do a little few shot. But I'd love us to do, um, I don't know. I'll think of something like fun, but something obviously Elwood related to, like, everybody's favorite, like everyone's favorite moments, or like something. We'll think of something good, but it'd be fun. But yeah, I'd just love to. I don't know. I think it'd just be cool to meet and hang out. This chat keeps like jumping all over the show. Oh, sorry, Kelly. I probably missed saying bye to you. Geez, having a little snooze here. Um, so I'll probably get going soon, guys, unless anyone has any last minute questions, thoughts, anything like that. I'm so disappointed. I really thought we were gonna get a trailer. Well, I don't know. I keep telling myself that it's gonna be next Friday because they obviously have held it off for a reason. I didn't think that they were going to show it this week since obviously they've been waiting all this time to show the trailer for a reason. So um in London, I normally I always stay in Hilton's because I have like I lived in hotels at one stage. So I have like and I travel a lot for work. So I have like a million points. So I always just stay at the same, the Hilton so that I can get the points all the time. Oh, Sonia sent me a message. I was wondering where she was. But she says she's going to watch later. So, what else? Did you guys see my thing? So the thing I made yesterday? If you haven't seen it, I was cracking up. Let me show you if you haven't seen it. Stuck myself on here. Oh god, I was killing myself doing that. My I took the picture at my dad's house because he like the way that I wanted to his sofa was really good for it, and then I could prop like my camera up, and he was on the phone while and I thought, oh, I'll do it quickly while he's on the phone, and he comes around the corner and he's like, "What are you doing?" Oh, bye, Terry. Oh, my movies, yeah. The first, the one that I do like you don't see my face in it. It's just I do the stunt. Is Thomas and the Magic Railroad, but it's a kids movie about Thomas the Tank Engine. The other ones are quite, well, not quite good, but the other ones are like decent. Um, they're like those like bad movies that movie stars do. And the next one is Relative Values, and it has Julie Andrews and Colin Firth, Jean Triplehorn, William Baldwin. Yeah, William or Stephen Baldwin. Um, and I was like 9 or 10 when I did that one. And I remember going to the set and getting my makeup done. And I was getting my makeup done, and this woman was getting her makeup done next to me. And she was like so nice, and like she was just lovely to us all day. And I remember because like obviously I was 9, so I wasn't really getting that much makeup on. And she was getting loads on. And I remember afterwards, like my dad was like, trying to explain to me like, you don't realize how big of a deal this is because you're 9, but the woman was Julie Andrews, and I like sat there and like got to watch like 3 of her scenes, and like the scene that we shot later that day, obviously like I'm in like probably like 5 or 6, and we're like chasing a car, and like we were like dressed in like Girl Scout uniforms, Girl Guide uniforms, and my dad was always like, "Oh my god, I can't believe Julianne is blah blah blah," and I just always remember it. Like I remember just thinking like, "Oh, this must be cool," because my dad's telling me like, you know, this is a big deal. And then the next one I did is in the US it's called National Lampoon Black Ball. Here it's just called Black Ball. And the I'm showing you. Vince Vaughn's in that one. Johnny Vegas. And the guy that played um, the James Cromwell, that's it. The pig farmer and Babe, but he's in Succession now. In this one. And then I'll show you the other ones. This one was just like an extra because I just wanted to meet Johnny Depp basically. And I have, well, obviously this was before all that stuff. I have this really cool. I'll show it to you guys next week. It's like from Pirates, Johnny Depp and Jeffrey Rush, like a picture, and they're all like autographed with like the Pirates poster, and then it has one of those like Pirates gold coins. Um, yeah, this one, and then this is another one. Nev Campbell and Christian Slater, and this was when this one I think I was like 17, um, and most of my scenes were with Nev Campbell, and I love the Scream movies, like love them, and I was an enormous fan of Friends, and in our first scene together, this is obviously like set during the war, so I have like, you know, the hair and like the white makeup, and like the my hair is like in like a thing, and like, you know, the dress, the time period dress and everything, and she's playing like a young Queen Elizabeth, and well, Princess Elizabeth at that time, and she uh, she was in the coat, the black actress coat, and she was like, "Oh," and I was 17, so I was like, I had smoking a few cigarettes, and the whole time that we were on set, like, I just remember being like, well, I have to like go and smoke with Nev Campbell. Like, when else am I going to smoke with Nev Campbell? And I asked her like a million questions about Scream and about Courtney Cox and about Friends and about other stuff. And she was so nice, so patient. She's really cool. She's really quiet, but she's really, really nice. And oh, what else was I going to say then? Oh, then, you know, a couple, well, obviously it was a good few years later. She was on Grey's Anatomy as Derek's sister, so that's cool. And yeah, I've done like other like I used to work with a company that did conventions and stuff like that. So I've pretty much worked with. I talked about that. There's a video on my channel called "All the Celebrities I've Met." The only ones that I left out for some reason were like the Modern Family cast, who were so awesome and nice to me. I'll have to show you guys. I mean, a lot of this, like all the movies and stuff, was like the 90s and early, very, very early 2000s. So it was before, like, I have loads of autographs because, this is before cell phones. But the Modern Family cast, I have really cool pictures with. I used to work with pretty much all the cast of Buffy and Angel, and I have some really, really cool pictures from hanging out with them, and pretty much all of them were just so nice. Oh, yes, Lynn. Do not worry. I will be on to my best next week. If we don't have a trailer, I'm gonna have to get on. Joking. No, I'm really like I've really rolled the dice here, guys. I've Elcon is on for next Friday, so I was going off on a tangent there. Gonna wrap up now, but thank you, of course, always, you guys, for coming. But next Friday, it's gonna be exactly like this because this I like bought this streaming service, and Elwood Online, Bet and Tina House of Stir Fry, and All Things Tibet, I can like invite them into this stream. So it's going to be a lot better than last time. And it is at midnight UK. So it'll be 3 hours and 20 minutes from now. So that's 7 p.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. Pacific time. It's 1 a.m. in Central Europe, but we will post it afterwards, so don't worry. And I'm giving away lots and lots of merch. So let me see. If you go to my merch store, you'll see I have a bunch of new stuff, loads of Bet and Tina ones. So if you want to win merch, then all you have to do is put it in, like, ask a question in the live chat, and you'll be entered in. You just have to be a subscriber. And also, don't forget, I am still trying to get to 5 and 10,000 subscribers. And when I do, I'm going to get my L word tattoo. So what else am I thinking? I'm really excited for Elcon because I'm just really hoping we have a trailer, guys. I really, really am. I'm going to be really disappointed if we don't. And I am officially saying the 1st of August is when I think we are getting the L word. That is my guess. That is my prediction. And my backup date would be the 8th. I mean, obviously, I would love it if we got it earlier than that. But since the Chai, and there's another one too. There's another show that is on at a similar time. Let me tell you, I wrote it down. Black Monday. So that must, I'm assuming that's on a Monday. Oh, my followers have a name. They're called Silver Stars, and I love them. But if you think of anything else, let me know. But that's what I normally call you guys. Go to my store, Savage. Go to my store. I have the woman who designed my merch, she asked to stay anonymous, and she's really, really sweet, but she did an amazing job on, and I don't mind blowing the trumpet because I didn't design them. I had nothing to do with it. She did an amazing, amazing job. She's a Bettentina fan too. And the one on the porch, she drew that picture so that, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to use it, because if it was just like the photograph, I couldn't use it. So she drew it, and then she, like, even the newspaper has me on it. I thought it was so cool. And okay, thank you. Send me a picture of you. I really love getting pictures of you guys in the merch. If you don't mind sharing, if no pressure. But I also have a new one up that's like Passion Progress Porter, and it's like a bet one. It looks really cool. In someone's bought one in white and they sent it to me. It looks really cool, and in charcoal, it looks really good. And I ordered a bunch of the Bettentina on the porch one. I even ordered like the water bottle and stuff like that, because I'm gonna, well, it's being shipped right now, so I'm hoping it gets here for Elcon, because I want to wear it at Elcon. And I got some hoodies. I got some Gen Q ones, so I can wear those for season 2 videos. And the stuff is really good quality. It's really nice. Um, and I say all this because it's like I'm saying, it's a really good way to support the channel, and anything like that, it goes back into the channel. Like, the merch is how, like, I upgrade equipment and how I pay for the streaming software and stuff like that. So it is really good quality though, and it is nice stuff. Um, the merch size, they run pretty like they're not super small or tight or anything. That it is really good quality. And anyone I know who's gotten the stuff has, they've gone with their standard sizing, and they've been okay with it. So I think there is a size chart too. Um, let me I'll put the link in the chat, and then you guys, if you just want to take a look, you can. But again, I know that, these the world is normally a tough place, and it's a tough place now. So if it's not something that you can do, don't worry. There's a chance to win some for free. And next week at Elcon, we're giving 3 shirts away. So come in and enter then. And then afterwards, basically from when the season 2 like trailer and everything starts, I'll be doing like a giveaway every couple of weeks. So my name's on the back of them. So like the design is on the front, and then on the back they all say like YouTube Ash Silver. Oh, thanks, Kaya, there for confirming that. But yeah, that's it, guys. Check out the merch. Don't forget about Elcon next week. I'm so pumped. I can't wait to talk about everything season 2, because I can't believe they wrap on Thursday. What a long, long 8 months it has been. But we're going to get it back for season 3. We're going to get a trailer. We're going to get our season 2 episodes. We've got a lot of good things coming. And basically, I can't wait. And thank you for being on the channel. Thank you for coming to the live. Thank you for just being you guys and being so kind. And I love the positivity that we're constantly putting out. You know, I love the vibe of this channel, and you guys are just all so great, because there's always miserable things going on, or people can say bad things or whatever, but I just love that we're being positive, and I know for a fact that cast, crew, writers, they love the vibe of this channel, and they love everything that we're putting out there. So yeah, just love you guys. You're the best, you're the best, you're the best. And Kaya, it's funny about your mom. But thank you so much, guys. I will hopefully see you next week with a trailer. So everybody cross your fingers, keep sending out those good vibes. Have a great weekend. Y'all are the best. Stay safe, take care of yourselves, be good to one another, and I'll see you with a trailer soon, I hope. See you at LCON next week, guys. Love you. Bye.